I'll
work.
next week.
Okay. Yeah, I'm recording it now, so that's
Okay.
fine. Yeah, I'll post
Sick.
it up. It's really not a big deal.
Yeah. Let's clap it out.
Let's do it. I saw the video from the My Favorite Murder people doing claps, and I was like, "Ha! You fools! You know nothing."
I was born into it.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I didn't hear that one. That was weird. And 1, 2, 3. Nice.
As long as the microphone hears it, we're fine.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
Okay.
All right.
Are you ready? Do you want some ASMR? I haven't opened my beer yet.
Crack it. Crack open a cold one.
Oh God, my nails are like really long now.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Oh.
Cracking open a cold one with the boys.
Cracking open a cold one with the boys.
There's nothing better. No better
God, I
sounding.
love this beer.
Is it your local?
Yeah, it's my local. If I'm running out of cans, obviously, but like it's so good.
Okay. Amazing.
When you come visit, I'll take you there and we'll get like fucking trashed.
We're gonna get so wasted, like it's gonna be like Motley Crue levels of disgusting.
My liver is cringing just thinking about it.
It's gonna be.
Remember
It's gonna
that
be
time we had a
rubbish.
whole bottle of tequila together in one night?
Oh my god, I do. Was that the night that we made fun of? Me and Will were sitting there making fun of the
No, it
chocolate
was just
with the
you and me. I
insulin.
think it was like right before you moved away. You
Yes. I
came
do
over.
remember. Yeah. I
We made
remember that.
nachos. We watched Unfriended,
Yes.
and just had like tequila. And I think it started off classy. Like there were some limes and things involved.
Yeah.
And then by the end, straight up tequila and Sprite. It was
It was
disgusting.
a rough night. I remember that. Yes, that was such a good night. That was so funny. Oh, we drink bad things together. We're bad people when we're together with this.
Yeah, that's why it's better that you. We're both so much healthier.
Yeah. If I had stayed, we probably would have needed liver transplants by next year. I reckon. Yeah,
Definitely.
definitely. All right, you to start.
Hello, and welcome to Fresh Tomatoes, the movie podcast. The spunky upstart that impossibly pulls the optimistic sword out of the stone and brings light to the world. That's Chad Ekowitz.
And that's Simone LaRue reaching, but still achieving her goals. Unbelievable work. Oh, gosh.
I'm not sorry for that.
That is, I think, when you look at the dictionary and you look up the word shoehorn, you'll see what just happened there in the dictionary.
How dare you insult like 80% of my humor?
Hey, it's unprecedented times. Everything's a bit weird. I appreciate the fact that you were able to get that sort of premise into our opening. That's really impressive. That's good work.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, for those of you whose episode this is the first of, this is the podcast where we take two awfully bad movies every week and we tell you why they're good. We tell you whether you should watch them. We carry that burden for you. We are the legends. And speaking of legends, wow, that was okay. That's the new definition of shoehorning.
Yeah, if you're gonna accuse me of shoehorning, Chad.
This is the podcast where we shoehorn everything. What movies are we doing this week, Simone?
We're doing two separate King Arthur movies, one being King Arthur from 2004, and the next one being King Arthur, Legend of the Sword, from 2017.
Oh boy, how much fun has this week been?
I enjoyed it so much. This is like one of my favorite genres to like rage watch. But like and I unironically enjoy it too because I like love all this shit.
Oh,
but
yeah.
like it's always done so poorly. And we'll get into it. But like it's so fun. I had so much fun this week.
It is really interesting because I mean it's literally a story as old as time itself, and it's just trying to find new ways to come up with the same original story. It's always fascinating how they do it, and these two movies just fail spectacularly. It's unbelievable.
I yeah, we'll get into it, but it's basically like Robin Hood movies,
Hmm.
or really anything based on, you know, open source IP.
Yeah, yeah, cheap shit you can get that wasn't going to cost us a lot to try and sort of get the rights.
Yeah,
It's good.
exactly.
It's the same
Like
reason why Alice in Wonderland is such a gold mine, and the same I think with Sherlock
exactly.
Holmes.
Yeah. It's, you know, it's open, it's I say open source like it's a code. Um but basically, like, you don't have to pay to use that intellectual property. Anyone can do it. Everyone thinks that their take is going to be the hot new one that brings it back, and they're wrong
They're so wrong.
85, 90% of the time.
Oh, it's garbage. Hot fire garbage. Unbelievable.
Chad, what did King Arthur, just the 2004 one, get on Rotten Tomatoes?
Oh gosh, I cannot remember. Let's have a look here.
Okay.
It will tell me. I hate the fact that IMDb doesn't do the Rotten Tomatoes score, but it does
I know.
the metric score. Like, who's looking at meta scores? King Arthur. Oh no, that's wrong. I spelled that terribly wrong. I've never been able to spell Arthur. It's one of those weird things that I've just never been able to do.
It
Um,
feels like there should be an E there.
yeah, right, but it's a U,
Uh-huh.
which is weird.
Mhm.
It got 31% did King Arthur
Okay.
the 2004 one, and then a 59% audience score, which I guess is fair. It's
Okay.
a bit optimistic, a bit
Well,
kind,
well,
but
so Legend of the Sword got also 30%, but then a
ooh.
69% audience score. So people at least enjoyed it more.
Yeah, and I can see why. I mean, we'll get into it
Yeah.
probably, but I can definitely see why they would enjoy it more.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think? Like, what do you think about the actual tale? Not these movies, but like the actual story of King Arthur and Lancelot and the Round Table and the
Yeah.
woman and all the shit. How do you
Oh,
feel?
you know, I was like a huge fantasy nerd. I say was, like I'm not
Yeah.
still. I love shit like this. This is like it touches something deep inside me that's like maybe I could be a beautiful person, princess, and knights will fight over me and my honor. And like, you know, on like an intellectual level, I'm like, no, I'm a feminist. Like, I can fight for my own honor. But like, my deep lizard brain is like, this is all I want. I want to wear beautiful dresses. Um, so it really just appeals to that side of me, and I love that. Yeah, it's fun. It's great. There are knights. There are sword fights. It's a good time. What do you think?
Oh, I absolutely love it. I mean, I wish they did Renaissance fairs more because I would totally be there. Like,
Yeah.
you want to just be like, you know, secretly you need to be like, I hate this. It's dumb and super nerdy. But you're
Mhm.
like, I want to eat like a leg of lamb just straight off the bone and drink mead from a horn and,
Hell
you know,
yeah.
fucking buy a Morning Star. Why in normal life would you do that? But it's awesome. It's this mythical idea of, you know, these knights who are fighting good versus
Yeah.
evil and rescuing dames and slashing dragons and shit, and it's just super fun.
And then there's magic sometimes. Like,
And
how
then there's
bomb?
magic. That's great. I always love it when they do Merlin as like this weird, incompetent kind of
Oh, yeah.
wizard. I hate it when they make him like super serious and mystical. Like I love it when he's just a bumbling buffoon. It's so
Yeah.
funny. It's so much
That's
better.
like what, from The Sword and the Stone, where
Mm,
Merlin's like kind of.
yeah, yeah.
I love that.
I might actually watch that again because it's been a really long time since I've seen Sword in the Stone, and it's so good.
It's so good.
Oh, it's that's the one where he gets turned into a squirrel, right? And it's like,
I think so, yeah.
and
It's
he
so
falls in
cute.
love. Oh, and then it's heartbreaking because the female squirrel's like, "Oh, I've been betrayed. I've been catfished." Maybe is that the original seeing of catfishing? Is that like our first
I
interaction of
don't think it
catfishing?
is. I think probably anything Zeus did in Greek mythology was the original catfish.
Have you seen someone wrote on Twitter? It was a long time ago, and it was just like how every Greek mythology story starts. Unfortunately, Zeus was horny.
It's true, though. He really needs to chill out.
He really does. Like whoever, I love the writers of ancient Greek mythology because they're just like, and Zeus went down and turned himself into a swan and had sex with a lady. So, yep.
She didn't want to have sex with him, but then he was a swan, and then she did want to have sex with him.
Yep, fair enough. It tracks. It tracks.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah.
So, Chad, what are you drinking?
So this week, I decided to just, splurge a little bit. So I got
Ooh.
a pale ale called Half Pipe. I believe the brewers are Session Pale Ale, and I don't know if you can see it, but he's a little skeleton man, and he's on a
Oh,
skateboard because he's
oh, look
he's
at
on
him
a
go.
half pipe. Yeah, yeah, look at him. So that one comes in at 3.9%, and it's very, very
Oh,
tasty. I do love a pale ale. I'm a big fan of a pale ale.
I don't like a very like bitter hoppy beer.
Mm-hmm.
So like for example, the beer I'm drinking now is a lager,
Okay.
also from my local. I've mentioned it several times on the podcast. So yeah, it's a bit lighter, like a little bit crispier.
Mm-hmm.
But it comes in at 5.2%.
Shit. It's been a really long time since we've actually had sort of a comparable
Mm,
score that we
yeah,
can sort of, actually make the stakes a little bit higher.
yeah.
So that's cool. I mean, excellent. So
So
would you
I
say that
win.
you win, but we all win when it's King Arthur week? So
Let's see.
would you say that lager is your favorite beer then? Just out of interest.
I I don't know. I like a Vice.
Mm-hmm.
I like a Pilsner. I don't know. It's I think very mood and like weather dependent. Like
Mm, mm,
you'll go for a heavier beer if it's colder, and when it's lighter, like I also like a nice cider. I know that's not a
mm.
beer, but I love a good cider in the summer.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Nothing
Not a
better.
sweet one though, like a crisp,
Mm,
dry
mm.
one.
Gotta be crisp and dry. Yeah.
Hmm.
Excellent.
If I want
Well,
something sweet, I'll drink a cocktail. You know.
yeah, cocktail or rosé. Why not?
I'm gonna do the synopsis now. I actually wrote one this week because the plot was fucking impossible.
It was a little all over the place. I will agree with you there.
And like I spent a lot of the movie going, wait, what's that now? So I had to just go back and like be like, oh, okay.
That's amazing. But they were
Okay,
really pretty people, so it was fine.
I'm just gonna mute really quick on Zoom so the people watching our videos don't have to hear me blow my nose. Okay, I'm
Ready?
great.
You're doing fine. It's all good. Pollen is everyone's worst nightmare.
It is not my friend. Okay, are you ready to hear the plot of this movie?
I'm so excited. I was very, very sort of starstruck by all the pretty people, so I probably didn't pay as much attention as I probably should have.
Yeah, that's fair. It's important before we start with this plot for everybody to know that this was directed by Guy Ritchie.
Yeah, it was. It screamed Guy Ritchie.
It is such a Guy Ritchie film. Okay, so the movie opens at the apex of war that King Mordred is waging between mages and the humans of Camelot. He has used a lot of dark magic to lay waste to most of Camelot's forces. King Uther, played by Eric Bana, however, saves the day with his sword Excalibur by infiltrating Mordred's stronghold and defeating him. His victory and the subsequent peace is short-lived because his brother, Vortigern, played by Jude Law, stages a coup against Uther. Vortigern uses his wife or murders his wife in order to obtain the dark power needed to overthrow his brother and leave Uther's son, Arthur, abandoned in the streets of Londinium, the capital. Young Arthur is rescued by some sex workers and grows up in a brothel. As he grows, his dedication to protecting those around him grows into a lot of street smarts, loyal friends, and go-to fighting skills. He is now played by Charlie Hunnam. After getting into some trouble with the law, Arthur is transported by barge to a recently drained lake where Excalibur is embedded in a rock. Turns out that it's well known that only the heir of King Uther could pull the sword from the stone, and King Vortigern is understandably keen on finding this heir. As you'd guess, Arthur easily pulls the sword from the stone and is immediately apprehended by the King's guard. King Vortigern's plan is to put Arthur to death in front of everyone and humiliate him, so the legend and hope of the Pendragon bloodline falls away. Fortunately, Arthur is rescued by a mage, played by Astrid Burgess Frisbee, and Sir Bedivere, played by Jimon Hunsu. Then he is taken to their secret hideout where he learns that Merlin has sent them to protect him while he learns to wield Excalibur. Shenanigans ensue with him trying to wield the sword and come to terms with his traumatic past. Eventually, he resolves to kill Vortigern with the help of his trusty friends from the street and his newfound allies in the Mage and Sir Bedivere and a couple of other people. What follows is a heist-like montage of them trying to lure Vortigern out of his castle out of his castle so he can be killed. The mission ultimately fails and Arthur loses one of his closest friends. He goes on an angst walk through the forest during which Lady of the Lake, played by Jackie Ainsley, reiterates the importance of his mission. When he returns to the hideout, he finds his friends have been either killed or kidnapped. This leads to the final showdown at the castle, where Arthur, with the help of his friends and his newfound bond with the sword, takes down Vortigern. From there, he establishes himself as the new king and constructs the Round Table, and everyone lives happily ever after.
Way, nicely done. So tell me, what is your cliffhanger for this one?
It's gotta be this, which is just the scene where he's like recounting to the captain of the guards like what happened in his not great English accent.
Oh, it's all over the place, isn't it?
It slips very often.
Oh, it's horrible. Like I in the beginning I was just like I heard it, I was like, ooh, this is not good. And yeah, I can imagine, he's very American.
He's very, very American, but it is a God, what's his name? The director.
Guy Ritchie.
It is a Guy Ritchie movie, so everybody has to sound like fucking Vinnie Jones.
Yeah. Oh my goodness! Like, it is so unbelievable. Like, I didn't know it was Guy Ritchie until the end, and then like the credits came up, and I was like, oh, of course it is. That is unsurprising now.
I kind of went through, I was like, oh, it's weird that like this is an interesting side, like new journey for Guy Ritchie. And then it came to this scene that was the cliffhanger, and I was like, oh no, there he is.
That's a Guy Ritchie staple. That and yeah.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
That and deep bass strings. He loves a good deep bass string pull.
Deep bass string. And don't get me wrong, I love Guy Ritchie. I very much have enjoyed many of his films. I just don't know if this is like the best genre for him to like insert himself.
So was this because he did Sherlock Holmes as well? Am I correct in saying that?
Yes, with Robert Downey Jr.
With Robert Downey Jr. And that was before this, no?
Yes, that was before. This came out like 2 years ago. Yeah,
that's bonkers as well. Like, it really sort of went under the radar in comparison.
Yeah, I had not heard of it at all.
No, me neither. So I'm just trying to think of like the thought process of Guy Ritchie. So obviously he finished Sherlock Holmes and was like, right, amazing. So if I get royalty-free property, I can make a shit ton of money. So let's continue with this formula, and we'll do King Arthur. And it obviously...
And remember, this was also like the height of Game of Thrones. So I think he was like, oh, you know what? Like medieval, feudal England type fantasy is super in right now.
Right, okay. And then he was just like, cool, King Arthur, which is never a good move. Like, it's definitely... No. Why though? Like, what is it about the King Arthur legend that makes it so impossible to recreate, do you think?
Well, I think everybody tries to do their own like unique spin on it. And very few people succeed. Like, I get what he was trying to do here. And on paper, I really like the idea of King Arthur as a Guy Ritchie film. And to be fair, this movie is really fun.
Yeah, it really is.
But I think, like, he thinks very much in terms of, like, heists and, like, banter. And not so much in terms of, like, the plotting and tropes that go into, like, a good fantasy story like this.
Yeah.
And I think that's maybe where he, like, the plot, like, the script was very loose.
Yeah, incredibly loose. Yeah. I liked that you put it as a heist, because it is essentially a
Yeah.
heist, and I think maybe that's the difference in that. Maybe that's why it works so well with like Sherlock Holmes, because Sherlock Holmes,
Mm,
it's a murder mystery, it's procedural,
yeah.
so it kind of works with that heist and sort of that banter, especially between Holmes and Watson. But
Yeah.
here, it's like you said, it's a fantasy film, so it's sort of like high frivolity, chivalry. There's
Yeah.
very little bands, and he tries to make it sort of like very lowest common denominator, and the whole the downtrodden poor folk will uprise and take over the rich
Yeah.
folk, and make things better, and
But
that's
even that's like very confused. Like I
yeah.
feel like because all of like the magic like fantasy stuff is kind of an afterthought for him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like it sometimes helps in the fight scenes, but you can tell he hasn't thought about it much because like he goes to rescue the mage at the end. She doesn't have a name. She's just called the mage.
Yeah.
And she's like freed and then immediately like helps him out by like possessing a giant snake. And it's like, so she clearly didn't need rescuing.
No, no, no.
Like he did not have to go there for her. Like she would have been a-okay. Um so like that was very confusing.
Yeah.
And yeah, he just that whole side of it, I almost wish he'd done a Robin Hood instead, because then he could have just
Yeah.
stuck to what he's like really good at with some like fun drunk characters. Like that would have been right up his alley. I don't know why he clearly wanted to do a heist plot and
Mm.
then he was like, oh yeah, and then he defeats the king. I don't know.
Yeah, it was definitely like phoned in towards the end. There's no question about it. I mean, I was very confused with that giant snake at the end. It really made very little sense. Like he kills the small snake and then this giant motherfucker comes in. I'm like, what? Wait, what? But
And then
why?
it got there really fast from the dark lens where he first saw it at the beginning. Did she just
Yeah.
have one on standby after that? And then like the whole sequence where he's in the dark lens was very cool, like
Mm,
lots of
mm.
giant animals and stuff, but ultimately meaningless because all it does is like allow him to have like a flashback to his childhood, and
Hmm.
that isn't really helpful because he comes back and he's like still like, oh, I can't bond with the sword, and it's like, what was the point of all that?
Yeah, exactly. It was just a giant wank to show you like giant scary things and
Yeah,
watch King Arthur
exactly,
get fucked up.
literally.
Yeah, exactly. It was, but I think it's really interesting that you said that about wishing for him to do a Robin Hood, because obviously a couple years ago that one with Jamie Foxx came out and it bombed because it was garbage. It was a garbage film, and before you say
I
it, we are
do not
not
remember
doing Robin
this.
Hood.
We're
Yeah,
not doing Robin Hood. I'm not emotionally ready.
no, we can't. It's with the guy from
We already
Kingsman,
did the best Robin Hood movie, which is Prince of Thieves.
with
And it's not going to be topped.
small fists of anger. It was with the
Don't be mad just because Kevin Costner got it right for once.
one time. Everyone gets a one. But it was with the guy, the new Robin Hood. It was with the guy from Kingsman.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
and it's sort of like the funny thing about it is it had like that modern feel. So like you had like
Hmm.
guards wearing more modern things. They had like
Yeah.
firework propellant arrows. So it was more like guns and shit. So it was a weird film, but it was really interesting. And I think Guy Ritchie would have done it better had it been a Guy Ritchie film.
Yeah, totally. That's like right up his alley.
Exactly. So I mean, what did you enjoy about it? Like, I know we've said that it's just really fun.
Yeah. Yeah, like I liked, when like I said, the script was all over the place, but like when he did have those dialogue bantery
Hmm.
scenes, it's really fun because it's like so outrageous that this is happening in a King Arthur setting. But like you're like, you know what? I really want this to succeed, and I don't know why. I really
Yeah.
liked that with the mage. They didn't like shoehorn like a kiss or anything in there.
Hmm.
Like it's
Hmm.
clear that he likes her, and it's clear that like there might be something going on there, but they didn't like really like press it. There
Yeah.
was like a lot of mutual respect there, which I really liked.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, I thought that was very cool of him.
Yeah. No, it was respectful, and it's very sort of uncharacteristic of Guy Ritchie as well, because you expect him to be like, the main guy just shags everyone and just get it
He's
in.
actually surprisingly good with it. I was just thinking
Hmm.
about it. Like, I mean, his movies are very much like dude movies, and then there's
Yeah.
like one cool girl.
Yeah.
Um, but like Man from Uncle as well, there's like a very clear attraction between two of the characters, and like,
Right.
stuff just doesn't go their way. So it's not like a whole subplot, but it's just like a nice interaction that's happening without
Right.
like pushing it in, which I appreciate. So I mean, kudos to Guy
Okay.
Ritchie for not completely exploiting his one female character.
Yeah.
And we always say, if you're going to have female characters in your Guy movie, at least do them right or don't bother at all.
That
So,
is true. So maybe Guy Ritchie
Fieri.
is. No, we know Guy Fieri as a savior to all feminism.
He's a champion of women's rights.
He really is. But Guy Ritchie is Guy Ritchie a secret feminist? He knows he has to do like shitty guy movies for all eternity, but he just really tries to like weave in a cool woman who's not just going to be there a sexy lamb.
Like the vibe I get from Guy Ritchie is he's like he thinks it's too obvious to have like a dumb slutty woman or like the innocent woman that the protagonist falls for. He's like, that's boring. So he always at least tries to have like some sort of interesting dynamic with the female character. I don't know if it's because he's a feminist or he just understands like interesting character development and story writing. I don't care what it is. I still really love Man from U.N.C.L.E. is still one of my favorite movies.
I haven't watched that one yet because like
it's so fun.
I don't know why, but I always associate it with Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, and that movie just makes me really sad because it's just so boring.
I got halfway through and stopped. I'm a monster.
No, I couldn't even get halfway through of Tinker Soldier because it's just so boring. So I always just associate...
No, Man from U.N.C.L.E. is like super. It's like the best of Guy Ritchie. It's like classy, fun, heisty, great banter. It's a party.
Okay, cool. I will.
And it's Henry
give it
Cavill playing like a super suave American spy, and your heart like
that's the dream.
Drops.
That's amazing. Second movie that we've done with Jimon Honsu in.
Yes, After Never Back Down.
Yes, which was equally brilliant for him as a role.
He just always plays the wise, slightly foreign black man, which is horrible typecasting, but he's really good at it.
He's so
because he's a great actor.
Yeah, exactly. Also, Peter Baelish from Lord of the from Game of Thrones, he was in this. That was very interesting. I thought that was cool.
Do you know who's really going to blow your fucking mind that they were in this besides David Beckham?
That fucking I can't believe we haven't mentioned that. We'll spend more time on that in a second. But yes, who else?
Maggie, who plays like the correspondent for the king. Or Maggie, she's like the correspondent for the king. She speaks for like the wealthy families in England. Do you recognize that actress?
She is.
She's in Annabelle.
Yes, she is. Oh, she's brilliant. I love her. Yeah, she was ace in this as well. Yeah, that's very, very cool. There were so many great little cameos in this. I love it. It all comes together. It all
comes together. And of course, Charlie Hunnam from Sons of Anarchy, which I still haven't watched. But also from Pacific Rim, which I thoroughly enjoyed.
I have not seen Pacific Rim. That's the one with Rihanna,
The first one actually slaps.
Oh, no. Oh, does it? Okay.
Yeah, it's Benicio del Toro directing it.
Oh, interesting.
Rudy convinced me to watch it, and it's actually like fucking fun. It's really good.
Okay, you're giving me lots of movie suggestions today, and I'm excited about it. I'm very, very excited.
Oh, like you don't have any free time right now, Chad.
To be fair, I do not, and you know that. I'm spending most of my days studying.
Be fine.
And most of my nights watching movies.
An hour and a half break.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, David Beckham in this movie. Fuck me. I love it when David Beckham does anything because he's just such a weird dude. And it was just so brilliant to see him as like the head guard with like burn marks. And I was like, what?
I didn't believe it was David Beckham. Rudy walked in and he's like, oh, that looks like David Beckham. I was like, yeah, it looks like him, but... It was not until I was literally looking up trivia for this that I was like, oh shit, that was David. That
is actually David Beckham. That was such a bonkers scene. Like, I love that he was like, just good decided. Obviously him and Guy Ritchie are friends because they're probably both knighted. I wouldn't be surprised. And so like, they hang out all the time probably. And he was just like, do you want to be in my movie? It's going to be terrible. And David Beckham was like, yeah, sure.
This was originally slated to have like, this was supposed to be like a 6-part thing.
What?
Like there were supposed to be a bunch of sequels, and that's why like you didn't see like Lancelot or Merlin. The mage was technically supposed to be Guinevere, but like they changed that out. because it was like supposed to come in like the later movies.
Oh, good lord. Could you imagine if we got 6 more of these?
Honestly, if it had been better written, I would have probably been
Hmm.
really there for it. It was really fun. I really loved the concept. The execution was just like
Not
not
there.
there.
Yeah. I think
The casting was phenomenal though.
yeah, no, I agreed. I think you were like, it's too much of a juxtaposition between like Jude Law, who's this like really suave. I would describe him
Mm,
as very like sort of smooth, like water, and then
yeah.
you've got the guy who plays Arthur, who's just very jagged, and he's more like rock, and it just doesn't meld well
Yeah, I don't think that was the best written character,
together.
or at least not like for this whole vibe. Like he really is quite anachronistic.
Yeah,
Like he's literally like one of the lads from the
yeah.
pub.
Yeah, and that's not the vibe. That's not what like
No.
you need from a King Arthur. So talking about what that is, like what would be your scene that could have saved this one?
Oh gosh. You know what? I would have first of all gotten rid of like that whole beginning scene, like showing fucking King Uther slaying
Hmm.
Mordred means nothing to us. The
Hmm.
whole like bit where like Arthur loses his dad. We see that in flashbacks anyway. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
important. It would have been much better to not know any of that and then reveal that he's like the Arthur or like
hmm
the King Uther's son as he pulls the sword out of the stone, because
yeah,
that's like, you know, that's a big moment in all of
yeah,
these stories. And like it had no tension in this story. You're just like, fucking pull it out already, we know it's you. Like
yeah,
they
yeah.
really built it up. I remember like watching and be like, come on.
Can we just move along? Yeah.
Let's go, guys.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
But I
Yeah.
did love I love seeing Eric Bana in anything. I think he's
Hmm.
very handsome. So
Yeah.
I did appreciate seeing him. He's a beautiful man. Ever since he played Hector in Troy, like I've just had a
Hmm.
big old crush on him.
Look, I mean, this cast is just gorgeous. They've got everything for
Mm.
everyone. You know, you got the sexy French mage, you've got the Arthur character, then you've got the suave Jude Law, and then you've got Hanzu, who's just like this mysterious dark
Ooh.
man, and
Yeah,
it's
he's
just amazing.
handsome.
He's very handsome. I love him with like he's got like this really adorable like button nose that you're just like,
Yes.
you're so hot.
I completely understand what you mean. I love a guy
Yeah.
with a cute nose.
Oh yeah, it's the dream.
What are you doing with that nose on your rugged face,
Come
sir?
on. Come on.
And I liked the mermaids that had like octopus tentacles.
Mm,
That was a dope scene. I would have liked
mm.
to see more of that. I guess I would have liked to see the fantasy elements just like
Yeah.
woven in a bit better or omitted entirely, you know, like
Hmm.
pick
Yeah, one or
one.
the other. Don't just be like peh where it's necessary for the like to advance the story. Yeah.
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 Yeah. You know, not just added in there for like Deus Ex Machina or
Yeah.
like, oh, we haven't used our whole CGI budget yet. CG
Yeah.
budget. So
Absolutely.
what's your scene that could have saved it?
I really disliked Buff Jude Law, Magic Jude Law with his double scythe bullshit at the ending.
They didn't even
Like,
put the scythe to good use in the fight choreography, which was aggravating because I love it when someone tries to fight with a
yeah.
scythe.
Oh, it's so funny because it's like the most awkward thing. It's good for like chopping wheat, and that is what its
Yeah,
purpose is.
it
It's not a
literally has
very
one motion, which is a nice, easy to block swing.
yeah, exactly. And like even if it's double-sided, you have one move and that's it.
Yeah,
Like, and I was just like, what is the point of now? Right, you've got Jude Law in this, and he's gonna stand around and he's gonna look pretty for half the movie, and then in the big ending scene, you're just gonna be like, nah, switch him out, CGI for this big buff dude
ooh,
with a
that
fucking
whole
helmet.
fight scene was not great. It looked like a
No,
video game cutscene.
and it was just so long and boring, and I was just like, can we fucking not? We know how this is gonna end.
And Charlie Hunnam is a pretty good like fighter for
Hmm.
movies. I mean, he certainly got the body for it for
Yeah.
this. This was the biggest he's been to date, by the way. I read
Oh,
that in the
nice.
trivia. He was up to like 190 pounds.
Good lord.
I know.
That is,
So like, you know, the fact, I mean, I know that Jude Law also isn't the best in fight scenes, like you
hmm
said, he's just
yeah,
there to be pretty.
yeah,
But like, what a waste. The whole thing was like animated basically,
yeah.
and it was not suspenseful. You're just like, oh, can we
Can we not?
just like,
Yeah, because that's something
let's
that
get it done.
I want to say about both of these films is they were just so long, and I will admit, I will concede the fact that I could only find the director's cut of My King Arthur.
Same.
Oh yes, excellent, good. So we are watching
Excellent.
the
We
same
watched two and a
movie.
half hours of this movie.
It was so long, and then to watch this as well, which was so long, and then this fight scene, which just went on forever, and I was like, I have no stakes in this. Like, there's nothing for me here, and it was just like, you know what, Jude Law would be so cool. You haven't seen Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, which is really
I
infuriating.
have. I just don't like it.
Oh, sorry. You know, at the end scene where he's like fighting with the sword, and he's very like cavalier about it when he's fighting Sierra, when
Yeah.
he's fighting Michael Sierra, and it's just like that would have been really cool as an analogy if like
Yeah.
Jude Law came in and he was just like very cavalier, and you've got Charlie Hunnam being like really fucking going for it, trying to kill him.
Yeah.
And Law's just like block, very chill, not even breaking a sweat. Awesome fight scene, but no, they go and get this big CGI.
Jude Law was just like, I'm not fucking, like, my contract does not cover me picking up heavy shit, so I'm not a huge Jude Law fan, I've gotta say.
He is so suave. He is the British man I wish I could be.
No, he's such a creep. What are you talking about?
How is he a creep?
He just has a, like, asshole creep face. Like, if he hit on me at a bar, I'd be like, oh my god, what is he slipping into my drink?
What? Wow. We do not like the same kind of men. Sometimes.
No, we've established this, though, many times. That's why we're friends. The best friends are ones where you're not attracted to the same type of man at all.
That is very fair. That is very, very fair. But I think he's so suave, and like in a suit, he just looks amazing. But yeah.
But like he shouldn't be in movies like this. They should have had
No.
Eric Bana play the evil king,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
And
I could
like
see
he
that.
would have been a great bad guy. He's an amazing bad guy.
Yeah.
Like that would have been cool, and that would have given us a great fight scene because we know Eric Bana can fucking fight on screen.
Yeah. No, I gotta agree with you there. You're 100% right. Yeah.
So they should have switched
Switched
that
it
out.
around. Yeah. Well, I mean, would you watch it again?
Maybe. I feel like it's a nice like Friday night. You don't have to pay a ton of attention the whole time kind of movie. So like you're ordering pizza,
Yeah.
you're drinking some beers, like you're in for one or two dialogue scenes. You don't have to be like super lucid. You can be splitting a bottle of tequila with a friend. And like, you know what? I'd recommend everybody checks it out at least once.
Yeah.
Like I think it is a really fun watch if you've got nothing but time like now.
Yeah, exactly.
Would I watch it again? Maybe. But I would recommend everyone at least sees it once.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I've got to agree with you. Like, I would definitely watch this again, but I want to harken back to one, would you watch this again that you said a long time ago, which is I would watch this exclusively with my dad. Like,
yeah, this is a dad movie.
This is such a dad movie, and it's like Guy Ritchie meets an old school concept. Your dad would love it, but it's all right if he falls asleep on the couch because that's what he's going to do anyway. And you know, like he's not going to miss anything. So this is such a great movie to watch with your dad. You know, you're just bonding. You've just had the braai on. You know, you're eating your chicken and your ribs, and you got a beer, and you just chuck this on, and it's perfect. Excellent for that.
Your mom walks in and rolls her eyes occasionally. You do call her in for when Charlie Hunnam takes his shirt off.
Yes, because that's right. It's what you got to do. It's your duty.
We should all appreciate the hard work that he put in.
Yeah, you've got to. For these. I mean, I don't like saying these poor men because they're men.
They're paid to do it.
Yeah, but you know, it's the fact that like they do work so hard for these bodies, and it's also the fact that they like get so dehydrated just so they look even better, and that sucks.
Apparently, he did like 500 push-ups a day at least every single day.
Oh,
I hate push-ups so much. I'm doing a lot more at-home workouts now because I can't do anything else. So I'm doing a lot more push-ups, and I fucking hate them.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I
me too.
hate push-ups, Chad.
I was really proud of myself because I would like do like maybe 50, 60 a day, and I'm just like 500. Who has the time? That is exhausting.
When you're paid to look a certain way, you have the time.
That's true. That's true. That's the job that you want, isn't it? Like to just be able to like work out for
Unless
six
I have
hours.
to do push-ups. I will do anything else I need to do to look fucking ripped, if I'm being paid to do it. But like push-ups are out. I'm sorry.
Just do like 100 squats a day. Dream.
Oh yeah, I can do 100. Oh yeah, I can do 100 squats a day. I've probably have been with all the at-home workouts.
So there you go, guys. It's our new Patreon. If you pay us, Simone will do 100 squats a day.
I might post a booty pic. I might not. You
You know
didn't
how
pay
like
for that. You're just paying for me to do it.
no, because isn't that sort of bordering on solicitation? I mean, I
I
should
mean,
know,
what else? What
but
is Patreon for if not?
yeah, that's also true. That is true. And I mean, you could be selling your bathwater, so at least you're not doing that.
And also, I'd say they're progress pics.
There you go. Yeah. But that's what I was gonna say. You know, most people have like on their door ledges like height marks for your like you put your
Hmm.
pencil in your height marks, yours would just be for your booty and it would be going sideways.
Yeah, just showed how much further out it's gone. Gross.
That is gross. That is something no. No, no, no. Bad thoughts.
Anyway,
Anyway,
let's
thank you
move
for this.
on.
Namaste. Thank you for this one. It was so much fun. Are you ready for the complete opposite? Where they
Oh,
make
this
it
movie is such
too
a
real.
fucking downer.
Oh, it's such a drag. It is so lame. I mean, I didn't do a plot synopsis because there was just no point really.
Yeah, why would you?
But oh my god, what a fucking yikes. All right, I'm gonna open my second beer for this one. Here's some
Ooh,
ASMR
girl.
for our people. Oh
Lovely.
yeah. Oh yeah. Right. King Arthur 2004. So, this King Arthur story tries to take a more realistic approach to the King Arthur legend by saying that new developments in historical developments have arisen, and archaeology has shown that Arthur, in fact, was half Roman, half Briton, and his full name was Artorius. And in this one, he is played by Clive Owen. So Arthur, so the Romans are still in Britain during this time, and they had a sort of treaty after beating the Sumerian people. No, what are their names? This is atrocious. Cemeterians, Sarmatians. So Rome had a pact with the Sarmatian people that they would give up their firstborn sons to join the Roman army and be stationed in Britain. And so that is Lancelot. He is a Sarmatian, and most of the people of King Artorius's round table are part of the Sarmatian people. Just to roll them off, you've got Ian Grufford playing Lancelot, Mads Mikkelsen playing Tristan, Joel Edgerton playing Gawain, Hugh Dancy playing Galahad, and Ray Winston playing Bors. They form King Arthur's round table. So it's coming to the end of the Roman Empire. They want to now leave Britain because they need to protect better outposts. So they decide to bounce out of there. But before they do, it is the last mission of the Sarmatian people, and they have been sent to go and rescue a high-ranking, it's a Roman clergyman from the who are their people? The because you got the Vikings and then you got the other ones who I can never
Oh,
fucking
you've got the
remember.
Saxons.
Saxons. Those
The
are the ones I was
Saxons.
thinking of. Yeah, the Saxons.
Yeah.
So the Saxons want to kill this clergyman and his Roman family, and Arthur and his knights have been sent on one final mission before they get their freedom to return to Samaria. They have to go and rescue these people from beyond Hadrian's Wall in order to save them from the Saxons and bring them back. In the meantime, you've also got the Britons on the other side, who are led by Merlin, played by Stephen Delane. Or is it Delaney? Who knows? Stephen Delaney is Merlin, and he's running the Britons, and they're really, really cool. And they also hate the Romans, so every time that they come across, that Arthur comes across them, they fight, and there's a big skirmish, and sort of Merlin hates Arthur specifically because Arthur is such a good fighter. As they're going to rescue them, the clergyman, they find out that the clergyman is actually a pretty shitty dude, and that he's been locking people away. They are able to rescue some of these people, which reveals Guinevere, played by Keira Knightley. She is part of the Britons, and she was locked up because the clergyman believed that she was evil and bad because she didn't believe in God, or Roman Christian God. After some explanation and lots of shenanigans, King Arthur realizes that, yikes, Rome isn't what it's supposed to be. They don't believe in freedom and ending slavery anymore. It's very much about enslaving people and sort of religious indoctrination. So they're just like, nope, we're not doing that anymore. Arthur's like very, very pissed off. And when they return to Hadrian's Wall and give him back, he's just basically like, get the fuck out. I don't want to go back to Rome with you. I'm done with you people. I think I'm going to stay here. This is all also because Guinevere is like, oh, you should stay and lead your people. You know, you're half Roman, half Britain. You know, now Rome is leaving us. Why don't you just stay? In the meantime, you've got the Saxon army, who are led by Cedric and Sinric, played by Stellan Skarsgård and Till Schweiger, respectively. They're the leaders of the Saxon army, and they
the Skarsgård. It must be like a different.
No, this is the Skarsgård who was the Skarsgård from Thor Ragnarok, not Thor Ragnarok, but the first Thor movies.
I know, yeah. Very different role for him. Cool.
Very different role, but he has not aged at all.
No. If anything, he's aged like backwards.
Yeah, he's full on Benjamin Buttoning.
The Skarsgårds are too talented. It's very upsetting.
It is. It really, really is. So at the end, after all of this, the Saxons come by the Hadrian's Wall in order to sort of wipe out the Romans and the Britons, and so they can take England. King Arthur stays behind and says, thanks for all your help to his Sumerian knights, but you can all leave. They, of course, decide to stay, and they fight off the Saxons with the help of the Britons, thus freeing Britain from the Saxon tyranny and starting a new British society in which King Arthur is now the king of, and he marries Guinevere, and it's all fucking ace, and everything's great in the end. So I love this one. There's nothing in it.
What's your cliffhanger, Chad?
So it had to be this one, and it's the bit where they're standing over King Arthur's dad's grave, and they just say the most bullshit lines of all time, where she's just like, what do you fear? And he's like, I fear nothing. And she's like, well, you fear something. And it's just like that bullshit talk that you get in a lot of these fantasy movies, which is just fluff, and it doesn't mean anything, and it doesn't add to the script or anything.
Yeah.
And I'm perplexed by these lines.
That's the whole movie, isn't it? It's just like a huge fucking wank. I'm sorry. Like, you know, I get it. Like, you're trying to make the King Arthur thing like gritty and realistic. Fine. Nobody asked you to. But you wanted to make it make sense in historical context. And then you had like this fucking drip playing King Arthur. And like King Arthur's always kind of a drip because he's like, oh, I'm torn between duty and I don't know what else. But like, oh my god, he's so boring. And then like Keira Knightley's there, like, and she's really cool, but she's like also telling him that he should be more boring. And he's like, oh, I know. Oh. It's just
it's exactly the I think the thing is, by making it more realistic, they have achieved their job to the point where it is fucking boring. Like, if you think about it, like, English history, in a lot of respects, is hella boring. We're boring people. The UK sucks in terms of its history. It's boring as shit. Okay, it's Downton Abbey.
I think a lot of historians would disagree, Chad, but okay, for the purposes of this, let's...
It's been an episode of Downton Abbey for the last 700 years, alright? Okay, so you've got this fucking guy, Clive Owen, who cannot act. I've never seen him smile. I've never seen him get properly angry. He doesn't change his tone of voice. He's got no range as an actor. And he's supposed to be like these leaders of these really cool guys.
Yeah, he has the coolest band of friends. You know, like, but there's always one. There's always like a group of friends where like everybody's like so fucking cool. And then there's like one dude, and you're like, why are you hanging out with him? Like, he's
Hmm.
so lame, you guys.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh no, he's our buddy. We've known him forever. And it's like, but he's so boring. And it turns out he like bankrolls everyone or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, he's the one who always buys the drinks. Yeah. Is that why I was your friend? Because I always bankrolled?
Chad, you were so broke. Like,
What?
and also you were terrible at catering house parties. It was not like
How dare you?
that was not the reason for us being friends. You thought one bag of nachos would feed like 5 hungry people, Chad.
Okay, all right, I will admit that my culinary skills were not good for that. I will concede that. But I was always buying beer and shit for people, as far
That's
as I
true.
remember.
I guess I just never took advantage, so I never like noticed. Like I always had
Okay,
my own
fair.
shit.
Yeah, you were always very good with your drinks. Like you never
I don't
relied
like
on
to show up
anyone.
to parties empty-handed or
No.
underprepared.
No, no, which was kind of my whole aesthetic was being vastly underprepared for everything.
That's where I learned my greatest lesson, which is if you're hosting a party, guys, you can all write this down. Lessons from Simone. If you're hosting a party and you're making like a punch, don't tell people there's gonna be a punch
Yeah, that is a mistake.
because they'll like then immediately buy like slightly less alcohol for themselves, and your punch is gonna run out in like the first hour.
Yeah, yeah, that is
Just like
true.
don't tell people, let it be a nice surprise.
Yeah, that is a good point. That is a really, really good point. We are very good at this whole giving people party advice. And when I say we, I mean you, because I'm terrible at it.
I do plan a really good party. I don't want to brag, but
You do. Your parties are always bomb. That is a truth fact. Did you see someone tagged our Instagram account
yes,
for their pizza today? That was the
I
best
think
thing.
they were just trying to tag accounts like that match the ingredients. So it was like a
Yeah,
focaccia with beautiful tomatoes on.
but I don't
And I was like,
care.
they have vastly underestimated what our podcast is about.
I agree. Like I thought at first I thought it was maybe one of your friends. And then like I just
No.
saw that it definitely was not. But a definite if this person does listen to the podcast, big shout out to Lucia B2907 for hollering at us with their pizza. That's
It looks
amazing.
beautiful.
Yeah, it was gorgeous. Guys, seriously, if you're gonna Insta your food, tag us. We want to see
For
it.
sure.
That's like food porn. If we can like fill our feed with food porn, that's the dream.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah. But talking about not the dream,
Sorry.
Jesus Christ, Clive Owen is a mess. I mean, I love what's his name? Mads Mikkelsen is like my favorite
all
human
like we
being.
said though, all of the nights are so
Mm.
cool. Like the casting was really bomb for this.
Hmm. Everyone except Clive Owen was well casted. Loved Guinevere in this because she was like fucking badass, like this awesome archer, this great
Yeah.
statistician, like just amazing human being.
She was super, super, super cool. Although I don't really understand how like she goes from like having been like super starved and malnourished, like in a dungeon with broken fingers, to like 3 scenes later, she is hale and hearty and like slinging arrows like it's nobody's business. Like that's not how recovery works, but okay. She like has one snack and she's fully
Yeah.
recharged like a video game character.
Well, it's Keira Knightley. She's like wafer thin, so all she needs is like a couple beans and she's all right.
Skinny girls eat more.
That is
I'm
true.
telling you now, skinny girls are always hungry.
Second pro tip from the Skinny Bitch podcast. Oh no, you're frozen on me.
Oh god.
Oh, you're back.
How?
You're sort of back. I can hear you.
Oh. Oh, you're back. I lost.
Yeah, I've lost you. I lost you too. Um, give me 1 second. I'm
Oh,
gonna.
but you're back now.
Yeah, you're still frozen a bit. I'm gonna go tell people to switch off their devices. Give me 1 second,
Okay.
because otherwise, like, I don't want this to cause shit now. Give me 1 sec.
Yeah.
Okay, that should be a bit better. Hopefully.
Sick. Okay.
Um,
So I was just talking about how skinny girls eat
yeah,
a
eat
lot.
more. Yeah, that coming from that is a pro tip and an actual fact from the skinny bitch of this podcast.
If you take a skinny girl to a buffet, like, be ready to watch
Yeah,
her go to town.
which is amazing. I prefer, like, I love it when women just chow down in front of you. Like, don't pretend. Like, if you're
Don't hold
hungry,
back.
eat. I love it. I love feeding people. So just fucking
Hmm.
eat. Yeah.
And ladies, if a guy is gonna judge you for how much you eat, he is not worth it.
No, no, exactly. Just get out of there. That's a big nopesville.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm. Rudy watches in total awe if we go to a sushi buffet. He just watches the plates pile up next to me. He doesn't personally eat sushi. He just likes to watch me.
Oh wow,
Not in a kinky way.
you
He's
you
just
you
impressed and in love.
you marry that boy. You lock that shit down.
I mean, that's the fun. Like,
Oh man, but yeah, talking about Keira Knightley, it was really funny in the scene at the end with the war against the Saxons when she's just wearing like essentially a leather belt around her boobs.
yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that's what you want to be going into a war with. That's exactly
I'm
the
sure
armor you
that's
want.
exactly what the Celtic peoples wore into battle. You
Yeah.
fucking. But everything's so realistic, guys.
Oh
Fuck
my
off.
gosh. It was frustrating and irritating. I thought it was really funny as well, like the way that the Saxons cocked blocked them as well. They're about to get down and dirty, have some really cool hot sex. Well, Keira Knightley hot sex. Clive Owen is just like a fucking mushroom. And it's just like, oh no, Saxons are here, we can't have sex now. Oh well.
Oh, well. And I don't know. I feel like they, in trying to make it realistic and in trying not to be like, super dramatic or like salacious about it, they
Hmm.
just made it really boring.
Yeah, it really was so boring.
There was no like occasionally Guinevere and Lancelot shared some like steamy eye contact,
Hmm.
but that was it. And then Lancelot's kind of the main character at the beginning. The
Yeah,
story starts off following him, but sort of towards the end, it's really just about Arthur's personal battle. And
yeah.
Lancelot basically is the sacrifice for that. And like that was weird. And I don't know, the whole thing. You're like, it's just a letdown after letdown.
Yeah, it was. And like the fact that there's no magic in it, the fact that Merlin's just kind of this dude who's leading the Britons.
Some like
Like,
forest hobo.
yeah, exactly. It's so boring. It's just like all of it is awful. And like even to the point where I was just like more fascinated by the trebuchets at the end because
Oh,
I
I
was just
love a good
like,
trebuchet.
oh, you can't not love a good trebuchet. And I was just like, those men are pulling it. Like that's the anchor point is like the men are pulling it. I was just like, that's gonna be pretty shitty.
Not a well-built trebuchet.
No, it's not gonna go far if you're gonna
Uh-uh.
find one of those. But yeah, like
What did you
yikes.
like about the movie?
I loved the supporting cast more than anything.
Yeah,
Like
I was
Ray
gonna say.
Winston, Bors, he was so funny.
He was amazing too because he's like this dude's dude, but he's like so caring to his kids and he like looks after the little boy that they
Yeah,
rescue. Like he's actually
yeah.
just a big sweetie.
Yeah, it's so cute. And like that's just lovely. And then at the end where he's just like, oh, I guess I'm gonna have to marry your mother. And then the mom's just like, oh, if I'll take you. And it's just like
Yeah.
that is the bants that you want from this kind of film. And
Yeah.
none of that. Like where your film had way too much of bants, there was just nothing in this one. And it was
Like at the beginning of the movie where they're all like
mm,
hanging out in a tavern and like celebrating because they're done
yeah.
and they get to go home. And then
Yeah.
Arthur walks in and he's just a huge downer. That's like the
Yeah.
whole movie.
That is the whole movie. That is a really good point. But I did enjoy the ice scene. Everything with the Saxons
Yeah,
was
the ice was
ace.
cool.
The Saxons are super cool, where he like cuts his son's skin and shit,
Yeah.
and it's just like, that's awesome. They're really, really cool. What did you enjoy about it?
I was gonna say that similar to you with the supporting cast is like his knights were actually a great example of really positive masculinity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, obviously they don't want to be there, but they're loyal to like their friend and to each other and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
they're not like except for Lancelot, obviously, but
Yeah.
they're not like out there to try and like pillage and get women, and they're not like gross about it. They're just like
Hmm.
all these kind of sensitive dudes
Yeah. Yeah.
who fight really well, like, and they're like nice people and very chivalrous, and like it was just like a really lovely example of like brotherhood and
Yeah.
like all these positive attributes of being a dude, which is what the code of chivalry a lot of times is supposed to be.
Hmm.
um but like they were all just lovely. I just wanted to see more of them like hanging out, like Mads Mikkelsen, his cool little hawk that he
Yeah.
has.
Yeah, and he's just like, at the end scene where he's just like, all right, you can go free now, and he just like lets him go, and it's really cool.
Yeah,
And yeah, they're all just like, I think the focus should have been more on them because they were so
yeah.
cool as a group of people, and it's just such a shame, like that Clive Owen is such a downer.
And fucking Arthur shows up. Even like Guinevere had like great bands with Lancelot. Like when they're about to fight the Saxons on the ice, and he's like, "Oh, there are
Yeah,
a lot of lonely men over there," and she's like, "Don't worry, I won't let them rape you."
that was
Is
fucking class.
perfect.
Yeah, yeah. And then Lancelot, and then Arthur comes along, and he's just like, right, okay, I
Okay,
guess,
guys,
all right.
get your
Oh,
arrows.
he's awful. Yeah, yeah. It like I get the point of this movie, but it just takes away all the fun of it. Even
Yeah,
like the three big things: magic and Merlin, the sword, and the round table. And the only
and the
thing that
love triangle.
and the love triangle. So, but the only thing that this movie really focuses on is the fucking round table. Like, there's bullshit about anything else in this one. The sword is boring as shit. The fucking love triangle is pretty decent, but that's only because Lancelot is a bomb ass actor, and there's no magic. So,
He's
like, they were
very
just like,
handsome and he makes steamy eye contact, but it could have been sexier, is
it could have
all I'm
been way
saying.
sexier. Yeah, there's that scene where they do the steamy eye contact, and she's undressed. If he was undressed too, ace.
Even
Yeah.
because they picked like such a fucking handsome actor for it and
Mm.
then proceeded to not use him really.
I love that man. His two films that I know him from is Saving Grace, which is about a slave story, I think, and he is in Titanic as the Welsh guy who shouts, "Is everyone alive out there?" right at the end. And he goes, "Right, we need you to move onto the other boat so we can go and rescue these people." And it's just like, I love him so much. He will always be,
I'm
"Is anyone
obsessed with
else?"
your Welsh accent,
It's
Chad.
terrible. Don't even.
It was so cute.
Thank you. But yeah, if you go back and watch Titanic, and you'll see him right at the end, and it just like, I will never forget him as, "Is there anyone alive out there?" He's brilliant.
Do you know what? I also find Welsh accents funny because Michael Sheen actually has like a Welsh
Yes.
accent in real life. And he's the funniest man on earth. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah. I can imagine that it's completely like Michael Sheen has ruined Welsh people and friends, well, chums for you. Like,
Oh God, I love him so much. I just want him to notice me.
well, I mean, that's the whole point of this podcast, is to try finally get him onto the podcast so you can,
Oh my
well, he
God,
can
he was
man me
on
and other
the
people.
My Dad Wrote a Porno. He was
Yes.
on a guest episode on that, and he was so funny.
Yeah, he really was. He was really good. I love the like there's YouTube video of him trying to teach John Hamm Welsh words,
Yes,
and that is just like the most wholesome, wonderful thing I've ever seen.
it's a perfect video.
It really is. Oh man, we strayed very far there.
Because this
Nicely
movie
done.
is so boring,
It's
Chad.
so boring.
And it
There's,
should
oh,
be so interesting.
it really should be, and it's disappointing. So, what's your scene that could have saved it?
Um, I mean, like I said, I would have liked a saucier love triangle. I think they really hinge a lot on like Arthur's like character growth and his
Hmm.
realization that like his loyalty to Rome is misplaced and he needs to like step up and lead the Britons and whatever because Rome's
Yeah.
about to fall. But that's not really a strong enough
No.
plot line to carry the movie,
Not
especially
for
because
two and a
Clive
half
Owen
hours.
has the range of a potato in this.
Yeah,
Like, so you're just like, it's really just action scene, boring dialogue, action scene. Um, and it would have been nice to see again, like some more character development from fucking Lancelot, who's
yeah,
supposed to be the main character.
yeah,
Maybe Keira Knightley stops being like this mysterious know-it-all and also like experiences some sort of character growth.
yeah,
Maybe like something more happens with the knights. Like anything.
yeah.
Anything except centering on Arthur's like goddamn boring everyone else saying, yeah, we know Rome isn't perfect to him.
Yeah, yeah. It's the like that is one of the greatest scenes of all time, I've got to say, is when the 16-year-old child's like, "Oh, your boy, the guy who taught you, he's dead," and Clive Owen just turns to the screen and there's just no change in his expression, and you're just like, "Okay, I guess you're supposed to be sad, you absolute monster."
And it's like all the friends that you've been fighting with for 15 years were like basically working with you as hostages for their like hometowns.
Yeah.
And like it takes like some weird insight 15 years later to figure out that maybe Rome isn't nice to everybody. Well
Yeah,
done, dude.
nicely done. Well done. Good catch up. Yeah, nightmare. Yeah, I mean, it's a nightmare, and like from my side, like the scene that could have saved it, I just want more magic. It's just
Yeah.
like you said, this it's so boring. Even if like they try to like base it in realism, so do like potions and shit like that. So like taking things from the earth and making really cool potions so he can like
You
see
know,
at
someone
night
figures out
or
gunpowder or some shit.
yeah, but no, we get
Science.
yeah, exactly, science. But no, we get nothing. We get nothing from Merlin and his people except trebuchets, and that is it.
And dirty hair.
And dirty hair and blue paint. Somehow they got blue paint.
I mean, we know that, like, you know, well, as we know from Braveheart, blue paint was abundant in those hills.
That is true. That is very, very true. So I mean, yeah, it's a open commodity, and they utilized it
Hmm.
very well. Yeah. Well, would you watch it again?
God, no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't even recommend, to be honest, that people watch it the first
No.
time. Like, much as I love this myth, much as I enjoyed specific performances, like, you can see all of the really good actors in other really good performances.
Yeah, exactly. And you can just leave Clive Owen out of it because yeah. Oh, he is. Out of all the actors that we've slated on this podcast, I feel like Clive Owen is definitely the
Oh,
worst.
really?
Yeah.
Hectic.
I'm gonna say he's the worst actor that we've ever seen in any of these films, ever in the last 220 films now. Like,
Including the entire cast of Return of the Living Dead 6 Rave to the Grave.
at least they can do emotion. They might be bad emotions, but at least they can do them. Clive Owen is a fucking white bread rice kind of guy. He's got nothing. I will defend this. This will be the hill that I die on.
I cannot, I honestly, honest to God, cannot think of a single other movie with Clive Owen in. Hang on, let me, because I'm like, no, surely, like, he's a famous actor. Like, he should be in something good. Hang on.
I'm so excited to see the list of films because like I agree. I've seen his face before, but I have no idea what he's
Yeah,
been
like, you
in.
totally know his face. Children of Men.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, he was in American Crime Story, Gemini Man, Ophelia. Oh, he was in Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets, your favorite movie.
Of course he was.
Yeah, not.
Not an awful lot.
Yeah, no.
That dude.
I mean, he was in Sin City.
Was he?
Yeah,
That's
he was the
surprising.
one like lead detective dude in one of
Oh,
the
right,
plots.
right, right. Yeah. Okay, well maybe this just wasn't his film. Maybe this
Yeah,
just
look,
wasn't his bag.
him and his very serious eyebrows are very
Very serious.
specific casting.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, this was an awful film, but thank you for your film. It was really fun, and it was an interesting week to do to revisit this
It was a
legend.
fun episode.
Yeah. Which uh sort of I know you've said that Guinevere, but if if sort of gender wasn't a thing, which character would you like to be in this whole?
Oh, I would not want to be Guinevere. No, no, no. I want to
No.
be like Morgana or like, like Queen Mab or like one of the fairy queens. Like I want to have some agency in the story and I want
Mhm.
to upset everybody.
How wonderful! I like it. I like it. Just stir the pot, get shit real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna like I know like, my lizard brain is like, you just need to be the beautiful woman that men fight over and you get to wear dresses in your castle and never starve, but like
Nah,
no,
nah.
I
Fuck shit
want
up.
I want to be a fairy queen.
Nice. Fair. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
It's got to be Merlin. I love a good wizard. I
Mm.
mean, that was my favorite D&D character when we used to play D&D. The dwarf wizard with the PhD. That was my favorite character of all time, and I just love being a wizard. It's just really cool. It's awesome. Like, yeah, yeah. Especially if
Fair
it's like a
enough.
bumbling idiot version of Merlin. That's just really fun. Just always making mistakes, not 100% sure on what he's gonna do. Amazing,
Oh,
amazing.
Trenzalore.
Oh, Trenzalore, what a dream. Well, Simone, thank you so much for this week. It's been real. What are we gonna do next week?
Do you have any ideas?
I have very, very little idea. I was thinking, but
Okay,
I
hang on.
think
I was thinking of animated movies again.
because my one, but I think it's a bit too close since the last time was a Matthew McConaughey week.
Yeah, no, we
I
like
think it's
just
too
did
close.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm looking at like the worst animated movies of 2019. Let's be recent. Oh, okay. It started at the best and was working its way down. I was like, uh, let's just scroll right down.
Are you on the IMDb one?
I mean, I found some, but oh, I want to check out. I wonder. Hang on. Sorry, I'm not communicating much, but I mean, oh, I see. Okay. Okay, so a movie came out called Ugly Dolls, all one word.
Yes. Yes, I see that one
And I
here.
remember I saw the trailer and it looked kind of cute, so we can try that.
Okay.
And then, hang on.
Yeah, I got 27%. Do we want to do the Queen's Corgi?
I'm looking to see what the new Addams Family got.
Oh yeah.
I mean, obviously, Addams Family Values was like amazing. Oh, it
Yeah.
got 43%.
Yes, excellent.
Okay, so we can do Ugly Dolls and the Addams Family.
I'm very happy to take Ugly Dolls.
Okay, I will take Addams Family.
Cool. All right. I'll intro it again.
Cool.
So, Simone, what are we going to do next week?
Next week, we are gonna lighten it back up.
Excellent.
We're gonna do some animated films from 2019 that didn't do so great, which is gonna be Ugly Dolls, which is all one word. Which I thought the trailer looked really cute, so I'm
Yeah.
excited to see it. And then the Addams Family movie that came out, and I remember seeing the trailer and then hearing nothing about it once it was released.
Yeah, people have told me that it was pretty awful. So Ugly Girls got 27% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 55% audience score. What did Adam's Family get?
Addams Family, I think, got 41% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oof.
Yeah.
So it's a close one, but I'm excited. I mean, the last animated movie ones that we did were really fun. I always loved a good Zach Braff movie. Yeah, I'm excited to do animated movies again. This should be really, really fun.
Yeah, no, I'm excited.
So,
Where
what is your optimistic thing for this week, Simone?
My optimistic thing for this week.
Did you dig deep for this one?
I was like a little bummed this weekend because I actually really love Easter weekend. Like I
Mm-hmm.
don't celebrate it religiously. Um, but it's always been nice to like get together with friends or family and like
Yeah.
have a big feast and lots of chocolate and stuff. And obviously that wasn't an option this year.
Mm.
So I was a little bummed. So Rudy and I made a fort or a tent in our living room. We moved our mattress in there, and we have like
Oh,
a little cinema set up. It's really cozy, and I made brownies. So we just like got all cozied up when we slept in the lounge last night, and it was just like it was really nice. And I've got a little nest. I might never move the mattress back. We've got 3 more weeks in lockdown, so I don't have to. And it was just really nice, and it cheered me up.
that's so adorable. There is nothing better than a blanket fort. Like, I'm sorry to
Yeah.
say, like, that is just a fact. Like, blanket forts are the
And
best thing in the world.
like you just need it for your soul.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It is so comforting just to have
Yeah.
like these blanket walls around you. It's the construction, so you feel like God,
Yeah.
and it's just brilliant. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel that. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm glad that it picked your spirits up because this is a real tough
Yeah.
time. So you got to dig deep for these things.
Thanks. And also the brownies I made were fucking bomb.
I mean, when are they not, Simone? You're an amazing baker.
Thank you. And I made them the way that like I like them, which is like not too sweet, some really
Mm-hmm.
like bitter dark chocolate in there. And then
Mm-hmm.
like because it was looking too classy, I put some Astros in.
Oh yeah. Nice.
So it's deliciousness. It's made me really happy.
Oh, beautiful. That's nice. That's real
Yeah.
good.
And what's your optimistic thing?
Simone, finally, summer hath come. The next 4 weeks of the UK are going to be sunny, and then it'll be back to darkness.
Yeah.
But you know, you just got to soak it up. So I'm just really enjoying. So I'll study, and then I'll go sit outside, and I'll read in the sun, and I'll just like get a bit of a
Nice.
tan, and it's just the best feeling in the world. Like it's just
Oh.
so nice to just have the sun there. It always just cheers me up straight away as soon as like the sun's shining or whatever. So like amazing feeling to be able to do that. We've barbecued, as they call it here, which is wrong. It's braaiing, but
Mm.
whatever. And so we've braaied a couple times, and it's just been really nice. And I'm very excited for I guess we do have to stay in and shit, but it's just nice to be able to sit in the sun and enjoy it.
Yeah, no, definitely. Conversely, the weather's been unseasonably cold here for autumn,
Oh,
and cloudy and rainy, which is fine because then it makes me okay with being indoors.
that's a good point. Yeah, if it was nice and sunny and you couldn't utilize it
Mm.
and take
Yeah, when
advantage, that
we
sucks.
were all camped out in the lounge last night, it was raining outside, so it
Oh,
was
that's even
so
better.
cozy.
Oh, that's so lovely. Oh,
Oh,
wonderful. Well, guys, what are your optimistic things for the week?
yeah.
What are you up to? What have you cooked? Show us on Instagram. Tell us all the things that you're doing during this time
Yes.
of isolation. No one knows how long it's going to continue for, so just make the most of it or don't. You know what? This is a one time in life opportunity to just do whatever the fuck you want. No one's going to judge, no
Yeah.
one's going to care. So
Now's
just
the
enjoy it.
time that you can finally watch all the series you've been meaning to watch.
Exactly, exactly. This is your time, guys. Take advantage of this. And while you're taking advantage of it, why not tell people about the podcast? Share this love that we send out into the universe every week with all the other people so that we can become a 7 billion people optimistic machine of happiness and love. And
Hell yeah.
while you're sharing, why not leave us a rating and a comment? It really does help. It sends us up the algorithms and computer stuff, hacking. And where can the people reach out to us if they want to speak to us directly, Simone?
You can send us your food images on Facebook and Instagram at Fresh Tomatoes Podcast. You can tweet to us about your food at Fresh Tomatoes MP. You can email us recipes at freshtomatoespodcast@gmail.com. Or you can just hang out with us on the Robots Radio Discord. Like, chill out. Don't be weird about it.
That's so wonderful. Is this podcast going to slowly just like transform into a food and sort of hospitality podcast where we give like advice on
That's been
throwing
my
good
goal all
parties?
along, Chad. We're just going to do more and more like food-based movies.
And then it's just recipes, and then we don't do podcasts
Then
anymore.
we're
It's
just reviewing episodes of Chopped like I've wanted all along.
this is the long game. You've been playing the long game, and we
Chopped
figured it
and
out.
then Triple D with Guy Fieri.
Oh my god, yes, where we just follow him around the US, eating all the things
Yeah.
that he eats, but
Vegetarian.
vegetarian. That would be so good.
Did I
Oh,
tell you I went Guy Fieri has a restaurant in Pretoria. Like he
no
opened
ways.
Yeah, and I went because, like, how could I not? I was drawn
No.
there. It is exactly like you picture it. It's like
Oh, that's so great.
gimmicky. There are like hubcaps and flames and
Yes.
red leather and steer horns everywhere. It is
Oh.
so fun. They had a whole like little merch store. I didn't get anything because I was feeling broke. I went there. I had garbage can nachos and a
Oh my
jalapeno
God.
margarita, and the whole menu looks like it's going to give you a heart attack. Like every single item on the menu. They had mac and cheese, which was like obviously like 4 cheese mac and
Yeah.
cheese toasted in a grilled cheese.
Oh my God. Oh, that sounds like our mecca. That's
It was
unbelievable.
outstanding. Like 10 out of 10 experience, would do it again.
Oh my God. I need to go to a Guy Fieri restaurant. That guy
I'm gonna
makes
go
my
next time
life.
I'm in Pretoria
You
one day.
gotta. That's so wonderful. Oh, how is that not your optimistic thing forever?
I mean, if you mention it every week.
Guys, thank you so much for listening. And as we say at the end of every week, we love you and there's nothing you can do about it.
We love you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.